What is going on, peasants? My name is JB and I'm back here today with another Pokemon Unite tier list. You guys can read the title, you can read the thumbnail, you know what's up. This is the Buzzwole Tier List. It's kind of our thing around these parts to do tier lists way too early because I am a very shameless YouTuber and I enjoy views and I enjoy clicks, so at least I'm honest about it, right? Anyway, if you're new around here, please consider hitting like and subscribe, do all that sort of fun stuff. The channel's been popping off recently. I've gotten over 100 subs in the last month and a half, and my goal was to hit 500 before Scarlet Violet, and managed to blow that out of the water. So if you enjoy the content and you like some Pokemon Unite stuff, please be sure to consider hitting subscribe, because we're going to be doing a lot of dumb stuff around here. It's really cool, and yeah, I don't really have much else to say. So if you're new around here, if you're not new around here, you'll notice we split our tiers up a little bit differently. So we have usually we just do S through A or S through D, but I decided to differentiate it a little bit. We have our Hoopa tier, which we've been doing as well. We have S tier, we have A plus, A, B plus, B, C, and D. I truly don't think there are really any Pokemon that are D tier, but we'll get to it when we get to it. But typically how I use the D tier in my tier list is for Pokemon most in need of a buff, not necessarily Pokemon that are bad. So we'll discuss anything that should end up there once we get there, but I wanted to try to differentiate a little bit more between Pokemon nowadays, just because there are some things that, like, there's some A tier Pokemon that feel better than some other A tier Pokemon, basically. So we're adding the plus and the regular just to maybe differentiate that a little bit. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right on in. We'll go ahead and start with the Hoopa. We're gonna go ahead and put Hoopa in the Hoopa tier, to the surprise of absolutely no one. So what makes Hoopa so different from every other character in the game? Well, it has the game-changing Unite move, obviously. It has Hyperspace Hole. Those are just two things that no other character in the game can even come close to providing. It is insanely broken in coordinated play. It's a little bit less good in your solo, duo, trio, and for the ease of my syllables and words, when I say solo queue throughout this video, just know I'm talking about solo, duo, trio, unless I specifically state otherwise. So yeah, when I say solo or less coordinated play, I mean solo, duo, trio. But yeah, the Hoopa, it's less good in solos, but it's still like very, very, very good with any coordination. Like it's just completely game changing, so it gets its own tier. It's not like otherworldly broken where it's killing everything, one-shotting the entire meta and deleting characters from existence and not letting you have fun and enjoy the game, but it is game changing in every other way. So Hoopa gets the Hoopa tier. All right, moving on, we'll go ahead and continue with our supporters. Let's do Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime, I think Mr. Mime is a solid B tier Pokemon. It's not bad at all, but it just struggles a little bit, basically with the fact that its other moves aren't all that. As an amazing Unite move, Confusion is one of the best stuns in the game, but Barrier and Guard Swap are both a little bit meh. It's long been one of the Pokemon that I really want to see a buff on. I really, really, really want to see it get its level up moves switched from, like, I want its plus moves to be switched. I want it to get Fusion Plus at 13 because Confusion's broken. Get that a little bit later in the game and that's fine. And then give it Guard Swap Plus at level 11. And we're talking about like an A plus, maybe even S tier character. But for now, we're going to keep it in B tier because Guard Swap Plus is still incredibly good. It's just hard to get to level 13 on a less than great Pokemon. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about Eldegoss next. I'm putting Eldegoss in C tier, and this feels really bad, but Eldegoss as a support just isn't all that. It's genuinely does at the moment function more as an attacker than it does as a supporter. It is just completely incomparable to this character. You guys can't see it, but it is just completely uncomparable. Like Eldegoss, everything Eldegoss does is made invalid by Blissey simply existing. Like, it doesn't heal as much, it doesn't provide as much team support with Leaf Tornado, it just doesn't do anything as well as Blissey does, and it's really sad because for a long time, Eldegoss was one of the best supports in the game. I'll go ahead and make that a little bit smaller so you guys can see more of the things below. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Eldegoss for a long time was one of the best supports in the game, and then Blissey got buffed, and then Blissey got buffed again, and then Blissey got nerfed, and now Blissey's where it is, and it's still just unbelievably good. It's just, as a supporter, Eldegoss just does not stack up, and Eldegoss is very, very much in need of some love. I don't even know if so much Eldegoss is needed some love as much as this character is completely broken. Blissey is one of the best characters in the game, bar none. They tried to nerf Safeguard, but then they put Buzzwole in the game, and Safeguard has value in that, it completely invalidates a lot of what Buzzwole tries to do. But I still don't even think, like, first off, I don't think it counters Buzzwole as hard as people are making it out to, because, well, you get multiple lunges and stuff, and also you're not running soft boiled. Like, anything that stops Blissey from running soft boiled, I'll consider that a win. Hell, if my Buzzwole causes the Blissey to not run soft boiled, shit, I don't care if my Buzzwole gets 0 kills. That means they're not healing 100,000 damage with ease. Like, if you don't do 100k healing on Blissey these days, then you're not playing Blissey properly if you're running Sock Bolt. Sock Bolt is broken. Its Unite move is broken. Egg Bomb is still really good. Helping Hand is still really good, although you never would run it over Egg Bomb, but it's still very good. Like, Blissey's on another level of broken. If it weren't for Hoopa being Hoopa, Blissey would be in the Hoopa tier. And honestly, I'm considering even putting it in the Hoopa tier because Blissey is that effing good, but we'll just leave it at the very, very top of S tier. Blissey's the best Pokemon in the game at the moment, in my opinion. And for our last supporter, just because it got a little bit out of order, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Wiggly. I'm gonna put Wiggly, it's in a similar role as Mr. Mime. Wiggly I've never really seen as a pure support, even when its Unite move was what its Unite move used to be, where it gave you just your entire team these gigantic shields. It was never really, you know, that much of a supporter. I've always seen Wiggly as more of like a pure defender. And first off, it has like the color background of a defender. I didn't make this tier list. I just typed in tier list tier maker and I've just stuck with this one because I like the way the pictures look. But yeah, it really does fill more of a defender role. But yeah, Sing's still really good. Its attacks are still decent. Like, it's okay. It's again completely invalidated by Blissey because one safeguard and then your Sing is useless, and then rollout's not a move. Don't play rollout. All right, moving on, let's go ahead and talk about, we'll just get speedsters out of the way really quickly. Gengar first and foremost. I'm gonna put Gengar in A+. I've long time been a Gengar hater, and I truly do think a lot of Gengar players are not the best. I've been grieved from more Gengars than I care to count. Like, we all have like our own personal, like, for lack of a better word, shit list of Pokemon that we have on our team, and we just know the game isn't going to go well because for whatever reason, anytime you get this Pokemon on your team, they're just not it. And for me, Gengar is one of those players. Like, every time I have a Gengar player on my team, it never goes great for me. But the character is absolutely disgusting, especially with cooldown emblems, especially special attack emblems. The character just one-shots everything. Like, it is it's not as broken as Absol. There's a lot more counterplay to a character like Gengar, where if you miss, you are dead. Like, if you miss your, you know, Hex, if you miss your Dream Eater, you're dead. Like, straight up. If you miss your cooldowns, you're done. Absol still had that mobility where it could, you know, it didn't matter well, like, if you missed on broken Absol, like in the last patch. But yeah, Gengar is it's very good. Completely one-shots a lot of attackers and a lot of squishies. If you can snowball with this Pokemon, it is one of the best hyper carries in the game. But if you miss, you are dead. So that's why I'm putting it in A+. Speaking of Absol, I'm going to put it in B+. I think it's still good, but it used to be, you know, last patch, it was up there. But I think the nerfs reined it in to a point where it's still good. Like, you still get to enjoy, like, proccing your crits with Psycho Cut on your abilities, which is still good, but it's not overpowered like it was. So yeah, Absol, it's in a good place now, which is good for everybody. And it's still really good. It's not the best Pokemon in the game though, thankfully, which I'm honestly surprised they were able to pull that off. All right, Talonflame. I'm gonna put Talonflame in B. Basically, just because it's just not as impactful on games as a lot of the other speedsters. Like it doesn't do as much burst damage as Gengar. Doesn't do as good of securing as Zeraora, in my opinion. Maybe it's better secure than Zeraora. I don't know. Talonflame has, going back to the shit list thing, Talonflame has been on my shit list since day one of this game. Like, I rarely have a good Talonflame player, and I've had the best Talonflame player in the world on my team for a tournament, and that's no shot at Colin, but obviously, like, even then, like, the character is really, really good in the right hands. It's just, I don't know, man. Something about it just doesn't rub me the right way. Is that a little bit of bias for getting so many solo queue games thrown by Talonflame players? Probably, but the character, it just struggles, man. Like, there's so much crowd control in the game. There's so much, you know, mobility in the game where it can hang if you are able to land your abilities and stuff. But I would much rather have a Gengar in that role, or a I don't know. There's just a lot of other characters I'd rather have over a Talonflame personally. It's not bad. It's still a B tier Pokemon, which this is the middle of the pack, so I'm putting it just slightly below Absol in terms of viability. I don't think that's that crazy to say. Talonflame, it's a jungle only Pokemon at the end of the day as well, whereas Absol, really good in Path. Gengar, you can get away with in Path. I wouldn't ever do it, but yeah, so I just don't think Talonflame is quite on the level of the other speedsters, including Zeraora, who I'm gonna put, it's borderline A+ for me. I'm gonna leave it in A. simply because it does still struggle a little bit in lane, and Discharge doesn't do insane amounts of damage, but it's still pretty damn good. I really love Zeraora. It's one of my favorite characters to play. Discharge Zera has been one of my favorite builds in the game for a long time, but I still don't think it's, you know, this amazing Pokemon that is completely like broken. Like, it has its moments where it completely pop off like any other character can, but I don't know, man. It's decent. It's nothing special. It's got a great Unite move, great in team fights, really good objective shred with Discharge. Volt Switch is fun. Like, you can do a lot of really cool things with Zeraora. I just think Gengar's better. So yeah, we'll go ahead and leave it there. Let's do attackers next. Why not? Venusaur, cooldown build being a thing. I'm gonna put Venusaur in A+. I think it's ridiculous how strong this character is. Not ridiculous, but Venusaur's just been so solid since day one. Actually, that's not true. Not since day one, but a couple patches after day one. Like, it's been very, very good for a very long time. So much sustain, so much just constant damage output with Petal Dance, Giga Drain, and then you have just a really good sniping build as well with Solar Beam. Solar Beam has been buffed so many times that it doesn't need to be buffed. It's always been, you know, strong. But yeah, it's very good. Venusaur's great. Cooldown build emblems just make it even better, so I'm leaving it in A+. It's borderline S for me, but I just don't think it's quite there. I think there are other characters that are more broken at the moment. Gardevoir, I'm gonna put it in B+. That's really hard for me because this character is a character that I despise running into, because I think Moonblast is one of the most broken moves in the entire game. It has an insane range and stuns for way too long. There's my take on Moonblast. I think it's broken. If you disagree, you're wrong. Moonblast is one of the best moves in the game. It's absolutely disgusting what this character can do. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's a really weak laner early. But there are better junglers, so that's why I'm leaving it in B+. It's got a good, not great Unite move. It's really easy to get out of with all the Unstoppable and all the you know, just immunity abilities in the game. So it's nothing crazy, but in the right hands, you can definitely carry some games with the Gardevoir. Let's do old Greninja next. I'm gonna put Greninja in. It's somewhere in here. I think it's better than Zera just because you can execute a little bit more. Very similar playstyles in terms of mobility, and obviously not in terms of like damage output, or not damage output. In terms of how their abilities work. Like, Zeraora is more damage over time, whereas Zera's more damage over time, whereas Grin is more burst. But yeah, I'm gonna put Grin in A+. Smoke Screen is ridiculously good right now. Water Shuriken and Surf, they're most decent. Like, it's still Greninja. You can carry a game with Greninja. One of the best hyper carries in the game. And for a very similar reason, I'm going to put Cinderace right there in A+ as well. They're basically the same character. Let's be honest. They're the same. They're the same Pokemon. But Cinderace, if you've been around here for a minute, it is one of my most hated characters in the game. I love playing it. It's my most played character, begrudgingly, because I went on like a week-long binge where I just like was trying to prove how broken the character was. Not that it needed to be proven, but some people will tell you it's a B tier character and some people are stupid. It has the best auto attacks in the game, bar none. SADC in the game, just in terms of auto attack damage, it's ridiculous how strong they are. Blaze Kick is dumb. It's too much mobility, and the fact that it can stop people from moving as well and trap them a little bit, it's I don't know, man. Cinderace is stupid. I hate it. It's broken. Nerf it. But it's not quite S tier because that would be silly. People would be mad at me for putting it S tier for some reason. Speaking of S tier, I am very tempted to put Cram S tier just because of Emblems, but the only reason it's up there would be Emblems. I'm putting Cram in A+. Cram is so effing good with cooldown builds, dude. It's ridiculous how strong Cramorant is. I love playing Cram. And unfortunately, Cram is either going to be the reason cooldown emblems get nerfed, or they're just gonna nerf Cram instead. But as it stands right now, Cram is one of the most fun characters to play in the game. Slap yourself some black emblems on it, slap yourself some green emblems on it, get yourself an energy amp, and just delete things from the game. You can get away with either build, honestly. Like, Surf Hurricane is good, but Dive Air Slash is just on another level right now. Gives you a decent amount of mobility. Air Slash can heal you up a little bit once you get to level 11. Like, Cram is insane. One of the best junglers in the game. That is not something I ever thought I would say. You asked me this 6 months ago if Cram would be a good jungler, I would have laughed you in the face, or I would have laughed in your face. But here we are, August 2022. Cramorant is one of the best junglers in Pokemon Unite. I cannot believe I'm saying that. I love Cramorant. I love it. All right, moving on to Pikachu. I'm putting Pikachu. I'm gonna put Pikachu A. Am I? Yeah, Pikachu's so good though. You know what? I'm gonna do it as my tier list. I'm putting Cramorant S. Fight me if you want. I don't care. I'm putting Cramorant S tier. I don't care. I don't care. It's my tier list, damn it. This is the world I've always wanted to live in, where Cramorant is S tier, and I'm making it happen. All right. Putting Pikachu A+ because putting it in A feels too disingenuous. Because man, is Volt Tackle broken. Volt Tackle is so good. Electro Ball's great too, gives you a decent amount of secure. Yeah, Pikachu's ridiculous right now. Mostly putting it in A+ just because of Volt Tackle. Actually, you know what? Nah, that I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't put Cram S tier as much as I love Cram. I'm gonna put Pikachu just one notch below, just because it's not as much of a carry as the characters above it. It's really good. It's better in duo trio queue than it is in solo queue. You're gonna struggle to carry a lot of games solo with Pikachu, but you can put out a ton of damage and just not let people have fun with Volt Tackle. One of the best Unite moves in the game as well. Getting it so often, especially when you should be running Energy Amp a lot these days with cooldown builds. So yeah, I love Pikachu a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the A tier, but it feels low putting it there. I'm gonna be honest, it feels a little bit low. All right, Ninetales. Ninetales is a weird one. I'm gonna put it B+. It has a little bit of Pikachu syndrome, where it's not the best in solo queue strictly. Like, you're gonna struggle to carry a game with Ninetales, but you'll do a lot of damage. It doesn't really have the secure to be a great solo queuer, so I'm gonna give Pikachu a little edge above it because of Electro Ball. Gives you at least a little bit of secure. Has some really good abilities though. You can get away with either Ninetales build at the moment, so I haven't really messed around with it too much since the emblems have been implemented. I've just been trying a lot of other stuff, but it's good. It's just, you know, there are other characters that I think are a little bit better that fill that long range mage sort of role that it provides, you know, just slightly better. So yeah, moving on to Sylveon. I'm gonna put Sylveon in A because you can basically constantly hyper voice these days, which is ridiculous. Hyper voice is very strong. It's very easy to avoid, but it is very, very strong. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that in the A tier simply because of hyper voice. All right, Decidueye, maybe my favorite character in the game still to this day. I love playing Decidueye so much, but it's not the best at the moment. I'm gonna put it also in B+. It's incredibly squishy, and it really does not like a lot of the stuff that's seeing a ton of play. Like, it really struggles with crowd control. It really struggles with things jumping on it and not being able to get out. It really struggles with bulkier things, but you're able to get in a good matchup with a bunch of squishies where you're able to play at range, then Decidueye is absolutely dominant. So Spirit Shackle's the most fun move in the game, great for secures. Like, the Decidueye is still very good. It's just, I don't know, I don't think it's amazing at the moment where it has been in the past. Duraludon, I'm gonna put Duraludon B+ as well, kind of for similar reasons to Decidueye, because it also really struggles with basically Serena. We'll talk about Serena. It really struggles with a lot of like heavier burst damage Pokemon, but it's got a good Unite move, got really good range. Dragon Pulse is still really good. Flash Cannon, listen, it does a lot of damage, but you're gonna do like 80 to 100k every game on Flash Cannon, or you're gonna lose. Like, it literally is do the objective for the enemy team, the Pokemon. Like, it literally struggles so much with secures on Flash Cannon when you have one of the best secure moves in the game with the other build. So I get it, I get the appeal of Flash Cannon. Yeah, you're gonna do a lot of damage, you're probably gonna get a decent amount of KOs, but you're gonna do a lot of objectives for the enemy team. If you're playing coordinated with friends who can secure for you, it can do better. But a lot of the Duraludons that I run into are solo queuing, running Flash Cannon, doing 1,000,000 damage, and objectively losing the game for their team by doing 75% to Zapdos and then getting jumped on, or Dreadnought and then getting jumped on. So yeah, also here's one of my biggest pet peeves in the game right now. Stop solo ripping Zapdos if you're playing Duraludon. For the love of God, stop doing that, please, for the love of God. I've had so many Zapdos fights where my Duraludon will just start doing Zapdos and then get it again, like I just talked about it, get it to like 10% and then die because they've just been ripping it the entire time while we've been taking a team fight 5v4. I don't know why Duraludon players think this is a good idea. Stop doing it. Even on Dragon Pulse, stop doing it. Take the damn team fight first. Like, we think after a year we'd be in a spot where we can, you know, safely say this and people wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be a controversial take to take the goddamn team fight before flipping Zapdos. But here we are. This Duraludon thing has gotten out of hand. It's happening in my games far too often. Stop ripping Zapdos, please, Duraludons. All right, Dreadnought, you can get away with it a little bit more because Dreadnought's not as important, but yeah, just stop ripping Dreadnought players. Zapdos, please. Dreadnought player, Duraludon players. Yeah. Next up, we have Espeon. I'm putting Espeon in D tier. And it's not because I think Espeon is bad. One of my buddies is an Espeon main and plays it a lot, and he pops off with it a fair amount. But this character is just not it. It has one good move in its entire kit, and that's Psyshock. Like, that's the only thing it has going for it. Future Sight is okay. Psybeam is bad, I guess. Psybeam isn't really ran anymore. And then what's the other move? Sword Power. Sword Power is one of the worst moves in the game. Like, Espeon is just not good. It needs basically a damage increase across the board. And even then, I don't think it would be that overpowered. Like, it truly does need just a damage buff across the board. It needs maybe a little bit more mobility. It needs its Unite move to maybe have a bigger radius or something. It's just not it. It's not it. It has the, let's see, I'm gonna go check now, but it did for a long time, basically since the release, had the lowest pick rate and lowest run rate in the entire game. So I'm gonna go check API just to see if that's still true. I would assume it is. uniteapi.dev/meta. All right, it's not the lowest pick rate. It is, where are you, Espeon? It's like bottom 10, but it does have the lowest run rate in the game quite significantly. So yeah, it's Espeon is very rough. It needs some help. So yeah, Espeon it's just not it, dude. I like it. It's a cool Pokemon. It's just not it though. Pokemon that is it is Delphox. Delphox is amazing. Delphox is great. All of its moves are very good. Obviously, Fire Blast leaves a little bit to be desired just because it's not mystical fire. Cooldown Emblems made this already really good character amazing. I still don't think it's broken by any means. I don't think it's overpowered. I just think it's very, very good with Cooldown Emblems. I think basically Cooldown Emblems are what made Delphox S tier. If it weren't for Cooldown Emblems, it would probably still be like in the A+ range. But yeah, it's very good. Fire Spin is in a place where it's not as broken as it used to be, but it's still really good. I've always been of the opinion that it wasn't broken, but it's still solid. I really enjoy Delphox. It's got a great Unite move cooldown. Flame Charge is very good nowadays. Like, yeah, Delphox is great. I love Delphox a lot, so I'm putting it in S tier. Probably the best attacker in the game right now overall. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's where I put it. So yeah, it's good in path. Good in jungle. It's better in jungle, obviously, because everything's better in jungle that can jungle, but it's not a bad laner, so you can get away with doing it if you just make sure you get your experience early. So yeah, I love Delphox. It's amazing. Moving on to our final attacker, we have Glaceon. I'm gonna put it in B+. I love Glaceon. It's by far my favorite evolution to play personally, but cooldown emblems don't help it as much as you would think. Crit emblems are really nice on it. No, this is too low. I'm putting it in A. I'm putting it in A. I'm gonna even put it above Sylveon just because it dishes out more consistent damage than Sylveon. Like, you can't avoid this character's moves like you can Hyper Voice. It has better mobility as well if you want to run the Icy Wind build, I believe is the one I'm thinking of. Whichever. It's not Icicle Spear. Yeah, it's Icy Wind, Freeze Dry. Like, Freeze Dry I don't think is good, but people have been using it a lot more. But yeah, everything about Glaceon is very solid, so I'm putting it in the A tier. More of a jungler than a laner, I think. Okay, here's my hot take. I wouldn't play any of the EVs in lane personally. I think they're all junglers except maybe Sylveon. I wouldn't play Espeon, period, because I think Espeon is bad. I think all of the EVs are horrible in lane. I don't think that's really an argument. Once they get evolved, they're very good, but man, is it damn near impossible to play with an EV in lane. If you're going to be playing EVs in lane, which you probably should be, except for Glaceon, I think Glaceon's a better jungler. But if you're going to be playing Espeon or Sylveon, please, for the love of God, go bot. Please just go bottom lane. You get more experience down there. It's easier for you to just get your 4 quicker, and you're not griefing your teammates who are stacking. I've been playing a lot of Buzzwole, and I've been laning with a bunch of Espeons and Sylveons for some godforsaken reason, and it's impossible to get your stacks in with those characters in lane, because not only do they aren't able to help you secure anything, they are actively just standing on their zone because they're just getting one shot by enemies, Serenas, Buzzwoles, whatever be in the top lane. Just don't play EVs top lane. That's the end of my TED talk. All right, moving on to, we'll get the fitters out of the way hopefully pretty quickly. Slowbro S, it's broken. Scald is broken. Cooldown emblems are broken on it. You can this is one of the characters you can get away with running any emblem build on it and be really good. Slowbro's dumb. It has one of the best unite moves in the game. Scald's great, Surf's great, Amnesia's great, Telekinesis is cool. Yeah, Slowbro's broken. It's not overpowered broken, but it's very, 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 very good. Okay. Let's do Snorlax next. Snorlax is... I'm gonna put Snorlax C. I don't think Snorlax is like bad per se. I think Flaillax is a meme. Like there are a lot of people who've been making the crit build Snorlax games with Flail, like crit emblems. Like that's cool. It's really cool. You know what does that exact build better and doesn't grief your team? Machamp and Serena. If you want to play a build like that, play Machamp or Serena. I get it. Like you want to play Snorlax, you want to have fun. That's fine. But it's just if you're not aware, it is just a worse all-arounder. That's all that build is. Flaillax is bad. Don't do it. You're mean. I don't like you. Heavy Slam Yawn is okay. Block is okay. Like Block is broken. I think Block is the best thing about Snorlax's kit. One of the worst unite moves in the game. It's just nothing special at the end of the day, so it goes into the C tier. Crustle, I'm gonna put B+, just because you can do so many annoying things on Crustle. Just running around, scoring, shell smashing. X Scissors dumb. Stealth Rock is good. Like it has a great kit top to bottom, but it's just at the end of the day, like you can carry some games with Crustle, but you're not providing the most value in team fights. So I don't know. It's good, not great. It gets B+, which is a fine place in my opinion. Blastoise, I'm gonna put it in A. I really like Blastoise. It's in a good spot right now where Rapid Spin Water Spout is usable but not broken. Surf Hydro Pump is very good. Surf is still one of the most dumb moves in the game. It has so much crowd control. It pushes people so far. Like it's very good. One of the best unite moves in the game, top to bottom. Good Pokemon, but not broken. Mamoswine. Similarly to Crustle, you can do a lot of good things with Mamoswine, but you have more of a team presence, whereas Crustle's more of just a do whatever the hell you want type Pokemon. But you're not going to carry a lot of games with Mamoswine, but you're going to provide a lot of good team fight support with Mamoswine. I think Mamoswine might be the best pure defender. Maybe it's between it and Trevenant. I think Trevenant's better, but Trevenant's more of like the sustained demon than pure defender. I think in terms of pure defenders, like this Pokemon's job is to get in the way of other teams' carries. You have Mamoswine, Snorlax, Slowbro. Okay, I forgot about Slowbro. Slowbro is also a damaged demon, so yeah, Mamoswine is just a defender pure in its purest form, and it's pretty damn good at it. Has a lot of crowd control, has a lot of like just AoE abilities. It's pretty good. I like Crustle, or not Crustle. I like Mamoswine a lot. B+ is a fine place for it. I'm putting Greedent A+. It is the most annoying character in the game. I despise it. I hate playing against Crustle more than, or why do I keep saying Crustle? I hate playing against Greedent more than any other character in the game. Like a good Greedent is just a demon. I hate it. It's it's the worst. It's absolutely the worst. But yeah, very good. Has a lot of good emblem builds, does a lot of damage, has a lot of like the most sustained in the game, second most sustained in the game maybe. It's yeah, I don't like Greedent, but it's very good. And I'm gonna put Tree in A. I love Trevenant. Trevenant's probably my favorite defender to play besides Slowbro at the moment. It's ridiculous the amount of sustain you have on this character, the amount of just dumb things you can do with this character and get away with. Like a good Tree will never die. A good Tree will never die. It's so fun to play. Curse is ridiculous. Hornleech is ridiculous. Like it's just a ridiculous Pokemon. It has a great Unite move, one of the best Unite moves in the game if you ask me. I've long said that, and people are starting to come around on Tree Unite being broken. Yeah, Tree Unite's broken. All right, moving on, we have our friend Garchomp. I'm putting Garchomp in B. I am a big fan of Chomper. It's one of my favorite characters to play, but it's not the best. I think B tier is a fine spot for it though. Like if you're able to get your levels and get ahead on Chomp, you can do a lot of good things with it. It's a character that it doesn't snowball really well, but it scales really well. If you're able to stay ahead of your opponents, if you're able to get your experience and not let people get too far ahead of you, you can do a lot of good things with Garchomp, but it also really struggles with people just walking away from it. So yeah, it's definitely a matchup dependent Pokemon. Like if you get a lot of like brawly stuff, you can truly dominate a game with Garchomp. You get a lot of squishes, you can dominate a game with Garchomp. But if you get like, you know, Slowbro, Delphox, Blissey, Mamoswine, stuff like that, like you're just gonna have a bad time. All right, moving on to Lucario. Listen, someone told me Lucario wasn't a broken character because Serena and Machamp are good too right now. Okay, yeah, Serena and Machamp are objectively broken. Lucario's still broken. Nothing changed about it. Just because other characters are good too doesn't mean Lucario is not broken. Like and also in tournaments that obviously not official tournaments, like in the Spraggles tournament, in the what was the tournament? There's another like smaller tournament recently that happened. Everyone was running Lucario. Yeah, there were some Serenas. Yeah, there were some Machamps. A lot of top teams still running Lucario. Why is this a conversation? It's still broken. Lucario's still broken. It's S tier. Stop. All right. That doesn't mean Machamp and Serena aren't going to be. You know what? Screw it. Let's just get them out of the way. Machamp, Serena, also S tier. This character's overpowered. Serena is the most broken character in the game, besides Blissey. They're broken for different reasons, obviously, but Serena is just insanely overpowered. While you can get away with the stomp. This character does not die. This character deletes anything, like everything in this tier except for Greninja, one shot by stomp. Everything up until Trevenant, one shot by stomp. Everything until Amazon, including Crustle, one shot by stomp. One shot by stomp. One shot by stomp. Everything in the game damn near gets one shot by stomp, and you get stomp. You can triple stomp now with cooldown builds. And you can literally, you can always triple stomp. You can damn near quadruple stomp with cooldown builds. It's stupid what this character can do. This character is broken. Serena's the most broken character in the game. Machamp is very good as well. Crit builds have made this character dumb. You can get away with running Crush Up again. Submission's bad. I don't know why people are running Submission. I ran into like 4 Submission Machamps in a row the other night. Like, why? Submission's terrible. But Dynamic Punch is great. One of the best Unite moves in the game. Machamp is very good. Like, are these characters better than Lucario right now? I would say so. Does that mean Lucario isn't broken? Absolutely not. Extreme Speed's still dumb. Power Up Punch is still dumb. Close Combat's still good. You can still just move wherever you want on the map with Bone Rush. Really good Unite move. Why is this a conversation? They're all S tier. All right, moving on. Charizard, more of a jungler than a laner. I'll put Charizard in A. So that's a really good Unite move. Flamethrower, Fire Blast is still really solid. You can get away with running Flare Blitz these days, but I really wouldn't, because I just wouldn't. One of the worst laners in the game. Charmander is dog awful in lane. But yeah, it's fine. It's a really good jungler. Great Unite move. It's solid. You know what the better jungler is? This character. Dragonite is borderline S tier for me, but I'm gonna leave it in A plus simply because I just am. I don't know. It's actually no. I'm gonna put Dragonite in S because I think it is the best jungler in the game right now. Hyper Beam Secures are unreal. You can like Hyper Beam Secure. Unreal, great auto attacks. It's basically an ADC and an all-arounder body. Good enough Unite move. Like, you can honestly just splashing against Unite move in team fights is still good. So yeah, big fan of Dragonite. Gonna put it in the S tier. It is the best jungler in my opinion. Aegislash. I'm gonna put Aegislash in A as well. Am I? Aegislash is somewhere in this range. I'm gonna leave it in A just to split the difference. It has a really bad Unite move, and I still think Iron Head Shadow Claw isn't it, but it has some of the highest carry potential in the game with Wide Guard, Sacred Sword. Like, it's still really good, still great. Good in lane, good in jungle. It's a very good Pokemon, so put it in A too. I'm putting it in A plus tier. I've convinced myself. Azumarill, I'm gonna put it in A. Meryl is still incredibly weak, but once you get Azumarill, you can do a lot of good things. What's it called? It's a new move, or the one that got buffed. Aqua Tail is finally in a good place where you do so much damage, so much healing with it. I finally figured out how to use it personally. Cooldown builds, you literally have 100% uptime basically on play rough, so you have a lot of mobility with this character as well. You don't really need to run X speed, whereas that used to be kind of a necessity on Azumarill. Whirlpool's still good, has a great Unite move for just assassinating people. The problem with Azumarill is if you get jumped on, you're basically dead still. Like, its gimmick is cool that it always crits in a 1v1 fight, but a good team will just eliminate an Azumarill before it's able to do anything. So yeah, we'll put it there. And last but not least, because Tyranitar is not out yet and Clefable isn't in the game, we have Buzzwole. So for those of you who missed it, on release night, for a solid like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, I was a top 100 Buzzwole. Then I got off for the night, and now I'm nowhere near that. But I really like this character. I think it is very good. There are a lot of misconceptions about it, and let's go ahead and talk about it. I am going to put Buzzwole in the A tier. I think Buzzwole is really good. The problems with Buzzwole are Blissey, but Blissey's a problem for everyone, so I'm not going to hold that against it too much. And we talked about it a little bit I forget when we talked about it, what character we talked about it on. But Buzzwole essentially forces Blissey to run Safeguard, which means Blissey is running Soft Bullet. So some people will see that as a hard counter to Buzzwole. I don't care. Like if I'm taking Soft Bullet away from a Blissey, I see that as a win. Oops. Don't know how I did that, but don't know how that happened. But anyway, if I'm taking Soft Bullet away from a Blissey, I see that as an absolute win for my team. So I'm cool with that. The problems I have with Buzzwole are more so its Unite move is a little bit weird, where it targets something like, and then it's supposed to like, or you hit in a group and then it's supposed to target the lowest person in the group, whoever, like the lowest HP term. Use your Unite move in a group and it's supposed to, the second part of it is supposed to target the person with the lowest HP. It doesn't really do that all the time. At least that's what I'm told it was supposed to do, and that's what it says it's supposed to do, but it doesn't really do that. It's weird. Its Unite move is weird. So it's doesn't have a great Unite move. What it does have though is unbelievably good crowd control. So let's go ahead and talk about it. First and foremost, we have Leech Life. I think Leech Life is okay, but it's really hard to use well. The problem with Leech Life is you have to be close to your enemies and you have to land your ability on. Okay, the problem with Buzzwole in general is you just have to be very precise with your abilities. Like if you miss your cooldowns, you're dead. It's a lot like Gengar in that regard. It's very similar to a Pokemon like Gengar, where if you just miss your abilities, you're done. If you miss a lunge, if you miss a superpower, if you miss a really anything, you are just dead on this character. If you miss your Unite move even, like this character is very squishy, so you have to be very precise with your moves. And Leech Life is not that great, but it does heal a ton. It has a lot of great sustain. The problem is you have to have your muscle gauge like full for it to do any type of real damage, and if you miss, you just lose all of it. So I'm not a huge fan of Leech Life. I'm also not a huge fan of Smackdown, believe it or not. Smackdown is really cool, and it's just fun uppercutting people across the map. The problem is it's very hard to continue your combo after, in my opinion. Whereas Lunge Superpower, you can just constantly lunge on top of people and it just puts you in a perfect position to just throw them behind you with Superpower. I think Lunge Superpower is the play, and once you get used to the range of your lunge, because you can't really aim the range of it, you are always at like the maximum like distance. Like you can't like short hop with it, you always have to jump like the max distance that it allows you to. Once you learn how to really like aim it and learn the range of it, like you're just jumping into a group, getting your weakness policy stacks up and just throwing someone behind you. I think Lunge Superpower is the play. I think this character is good, not great. I'm gonna put it like in the high A tier. Obviously I'm not ranking them within characters, but I think Buzzwole is very good. I think it's a better jungler than laner. I think it's a really solid Pokemon, if not amazing. I don't really have any problems with. The only main problem I have with it is Blissey, but again, Blissey is a problem for every character in the game. And I also see that as value. If I'm forcing the other Blissey to run soft boiled, again, I've talked about this like 4 times already. I don't care. If I'm getting the other Blissey off soft boiled, that's a win for my team at the end of the day. So I like Buzzwole a lot. Is it broken? No. Is it really good? Yes. So I'm putting it in the A tier, just kind of in a hodgepodge of all the Pokemon in the middle. So that's what we have. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know where your favorite character ranks. If I rank them too high, too low, please yell at me and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.